Good morning, everybody. Carla Airy Culinaires here from A Coffee with Carla. I hope you guys are doing well today. Monday after the time change. I don't know about you guys, but I think that is a thing we could work on maybe getting rid of. Just maybe. The province that I come from and was raised in Canada here in Saskatchewan, they do not change time. And ever since I've moved away from there, which is many, many, many years ago, I don't think I've ever gotten used to the time change. It's just silly to me. I don't understand it. But anyhow, happy Monday. Let's focus on the positive and let's have a chat today. Let's have a chat today about looking backwards. So there is all these things that you see out there in the world of the self-help realm and all of those areas that encompass that, where my favorite one is from Gary Vee, and he always says, don't look back because it fucks with your neck. But in saying that, and I agree with it to a point, but in saying that, I think sometimes we need to stop and just take a breath and look at how far we've actually come. It's not about looking back for that reason is very different than longing to be back there, holding yourself back, and allowing people to keep you back there. It's two very different things. We need to look back and gauge kind of how far we have come, because I believe, I know from my own experience sometimes, and probably more oftentimes than not, I sit there, and it just happened on Friday. I was talking to my amazing husband on the phone, and I was in tears and just saying, he was telling me how, we were talking about different things and just what I wanted to see happen with A Coffee with Carla and a few different things. And I was in tears, and I just said to him, he said, you're doing so well. You've grown so much and you've come so far. And I was in tears, and I was like, but have I? Am I really? I was in that moment of self-doubt, self-pity thing. I wasn't looking for his sympathy, but I was really in question of, have I come very far? Because I feel like I'm a little bit stuck, and I don't feel like I've grown, and I don't feel like I've changed. And then what I did that day after we hung up, we talked some more, and he's so good at helping me see a different perspective, and just when it comes to myself and where I've changed and where I've grown. And he's so awesome, and just listening to me. He doesn't try to fix it. He just listens, and he'll give his observations and his input, which I always take to heart. Sometimes I really, when you're in sympathy mongering mode, you don't want to hear somebody tell you how awesome you're doing and how far you've come. You want them right down there wallowing in self-pity with you. And some days he has told me some things. He's very blunt and very brutally honest with me too. And he holds me, that is one thing he does, he helps keep me accountable for some of the things that I try to get away with. But he does help me see how far I have grown, and it's pretty amazing. After I hung up with him, I was kind of thinking about it and really reflecting and looking back, and yeah, I have grown. Yeah, I have changed. And it doesn't matter how far we've grown or how much we have changed or how far we've grown forward. There's always going to be a select group of people that you used to know in your past who are going to hold you into that place where they last knew you. And they're going to tell everybody around them how you were, all the things you did that were shitty, all of those bad things, all of those poor choices that likely included them, but they like to deflect their part in that. Anybody who's stuck in where they are will not take responsibility for their own actions. They will finger point, they will blast people, they will curse and swear, and they will they are just at the ugliest stage in their life. And that's why they are in your past. Some people are still in your present because you've known them for a long time, and they're still your friend and you can still love them, but you don't have them around as much, and they really do hold that against you because they are not seeing the bigger picture where they need to do the work. And when you are in the midst of growth and growing forward, you have to distance yourself from people who are going to try and drag you backwards or drag you down or tell you you can't do something that you know you can do. They're going to discourage you. They're going to focus on all the things you did from years gone by. And what is incredibly sad about that is coming from them from a place of complete and utter fear. And it also comes from a place of they no longer have control over you. And people who are in that season of their life, they'll do anything to get back that control, and they will play hardball, and it's ugly and it's hard. You have to distance yourself. I don't care if it's a family member, your whoever it is, sibling, spouse, whatever. If it's your spouse, that's something that you really have to look at, because you really have to look at, is this the right relationship for me? Is that person open to looking at changing with me? If they're not, that's okay. I'm not talking about I very much dove very deeply into self-help and into that space. My husband, on the other hand, is not that one who dives in and listens to recordings and reads books, and he kind of figures it out on his own. He also kind of has learned and observed what I've done and listened to me, I guess, yap enough where he's kind of taken some of that on himself. And so I'm talking about somebody who's downright ugly and nasty and being rude and being nasty with their comments and just pure unhelpful, unhealthy ways. We've all got our own demons we've got to try and fix. We all have to heal from within. We all do that at different stages and different times in our life if we choose to. Some people choose to stay in a state of misery. They don't want to get fixed. They don't want to heal themselves. They don't want to do anything. Those are the people I'm talking about. Those are the people you have to distance yourself from. Because when you have grown and you have changed, you'll find that it's hard to even be around that anymore. And in order for you to keep growing forward, you got to pull away. You got to change your circle. Who you are surrounded with and who you choose to surround yourself by, that reflects on you. If you're surrounded by people who are doing things kind of sketchy and shady, and if it's business and they're doing stuff that isn't on the up and up and it's bad news, you are that person too. Even if you don't want to be, you are that person. You get painted with the same brush. Be better. Do better. You can't save everybody. You can't save the world. You can't do anything until you save yourself first. Keep growing forward. Look back once in a while and check in and just see. When you're feeling like you aren't growing and you aren't moving forward, take a few minutes to just step back and go, where was I a year ago? Where was I 5 years ago? Where was I a month ago? Because you can change in that short of a period of time. You can change within 2 weeks. You can change the very next day. It's all about choice, and it's all about, do you really want to do that for yourself? So for all of you out there who are doing that and have made the choice to change for the better, keep going. I'm proud of you. You can do it. Carry on. 5 steps forward, 6 steps back, 8 steps forward, 4 steps back. It's a dance, and we do that, and we are going to keep doing that the whole time we are learning. For anybody out there who's struggling and doesn't think that they can grow forward, you know what? I'm here to tell you you can. And it doesn't matter what age you are. I don't care if you're 75 or 80 years old, and I don't care if you're 19 or 20 years old. I don't care if you're 40. You can change whenever you are ready to and whenever you want to. Just because that, there is that saying, you can teach an old dog new tricks. Yes, you frickin' can. It is no longer acceptable to say, oh, that's just how that person is, when they're just being rotten. You know what? I don't care. It's not welcome in my world. If you want to be welcome in my world, work at changing. This world needs more empathy. It needs more growth forward. It needs each of us to heal from within so we can reach down and help those who are struggling. The only way out is up. And it takes people to help other people get up and get out of that season they're in. That hard frickin' season, they can't see the way out. There is always a way out. It is up. It is up out of the hole you've dug. I've done it. I continue to do it. You can too. And I am here to encourage you all day long. Take the baby steps. Keep growing forward. Look back once in a while and check in. And know you're doing awesome. Even on the days when you don't feel like you are doing awesome, because you could be back where you were. So on that note, you guys, I want you to all remember every single day, as always, you are loved. You do matter. You can do almost anything you set your mind to. Do not let this day run you. You run this day. And you keep being your badass self. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support, and we will talk to you again soon. Have an amazing day. Keep growing forward.